All right. God bless everyone. Dan Mason here. Want to go over a video I saw from, I believe it's Discovery Institute, where they go through meticulously and break down the lies of the materialist scientists, evolutionists, that are out there, secularists that don't have all the truth, but they portray that they do, and they lie and they don't want to give an inch to true science, which is true science is the study of God's creation. They want to make it, um, they want to put man on the pedestal and the ultimate arbitrator of facts. And what they do is tricks, as it says, without fully lying. Some of them fully lie, but we'll get into that. And we all purpose is understand the subtle communication techniques in science, what they're saying and what they're not saying. All right. The scientific sounding claims they're going to make story, it's a story time, basically. Half truth, falsehoods, and how they skirt scientific integrity to hold on to what they think is um, the good of all mankind. They lie to you because you're too stupid. You believe in fairy tales when they have the biggest fairy tale of all. Abiogenesis and evolution is the biggest fairy tale they ever made. Let's go over this video that I found fascinating.
Did you know that all penguins are left-handed? Bet you didn't know that because that's not true. I made it up. Well, it might be true, but still, I did make it up. It's easy to say things that aren't true and get people to believe them, especially when they sound sciencey and are mixed in with well-known facts. On that note, let's take a look at some popular science videos on the origin of life and point out a few things they claim that are not exactly true. Let's get into it. The first sort of made-up thing you should be on the lookout for is what we call imagination storytime land. Let's start with these videos from Be Smart and Stated Clearly. When discussing the origin of life, they use words like these.
All right. Be smart, and state it clearly. So he's breaking it down. He gives me a ton of information and also ways that I can do it, that I can go and do this. Of course, he has an institution behind him. He has professionals, script writers, whether does it himself or not, I don't know. But it shows how we can go out there and capture the truth from what they're saying. We use their own lies. And PBS, you would know, would be right up there with the false information.
Molecules must have copied and made more of themselves, some a little different than the others. And a few of those codes and instructions must have been better at doing whatever they did.
It must have happened.
These building blocks combine to form highly complex and orderly structures like genes.
Did you know that all penguins are left-handed? Bet you didn't know that.
These molecules must have copied.
I like how he brings out, and he uses, their own words. They're saying this must have happened because we're here. And I've heard scientists say that before. It was made by your great spaghetti god. It was made by ours. We have no God. We are gods ourselves, basically. But he's breaking it down, the words, the very verbiage they use that trips them up. But they are purveyors. They are prophets and preachers without using no term. The holy professor. You don't go beyond Professor so-and-so, especially for careers, especially for your grade and different things like that. Things to consider.
And made more of themselves, some a little different than the others. And a few of those codes and instructions must have been better at doing whatever they did.
It must have happened.
These building blocks combine to form highly complex and orderly structures like genes, proteins, and cell membranes.
Easy as that, they just combine.
Unfortunately, the RNA-only world went extinct more than 3 billion years ago.
See how they slipped into the past tense as if these things are proven? Notice there were not a whole lot of sources cited or evidence given.
Right. And this is where we go. No sources, no scientific facts, no scientific evidence. A hypothesis that is untested and cannot be tested. Oh, the reason why is because it went extinct. We don't have this because um, it no longer exists. Well, then say it as speculation, not as fact, because your theory has not been proven because you can't prove it. It is no longer there, as you say.
Just imagination and hopeful possibility. If you see words like, this must have happened, or people casually slipping into the passive voice or past tense, you can be pretty confident that it's story time.
Yes,
People only say something must have happened if they're really not sure that it happened, but want
exactly.
to act like they're sure that it did happen. If I went to the store yesterday, I wouldn't say, I must have went to the store.
Yeah.
I'd say, I went to the store. Now, we're not criticizing them for having ideas about what may have happened. Having a hypothesis is fine. Great, even. If it's openly disclosed and everybody's on the
That's the point. Instead of making it in high school, you go to these high school teachers with a 4-year degrees, maybe a master, and they are so indoctrinated, they can't be challenged by the science, and they won't allow you to either.
same page, nothing wrong with that. But it's frequently presented so matter-of-factly and interspersed with real scientific facts that it's easy for people to mistake it for fact when it's far from the case. They're overcompensating. It's a false confidence. Alright, you know how to spot story time. Cool.
All right, that's the first phase. We might not go through all of these. I might have some other panelists on, um, but I wanted to get it started. This is amazing to me. This video, this setup. I'm gonna put a lot more on my YouTube and my Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok because I find this fascinating that they put it together for me in one of the best illustrations that I've found. Science of believability, while we fall for scientific sounding claims. We're gonna do one more, then I'm gonna cut it out for now.
It's easy to say things that aren't true and get people to believe them, especially when they sound sciencey and are mixed in with well-known facts. On that note, let's take a look at some popular science videos on the origin of life and point out a few things they claim that are not exactly true. Let's get into it.
I stretched it out too far on the other one. I'm gonna have to make that correction.
The first sort of made-up thing it's easy to say things that aren't true and get people to
All right, so let's move ahead.
if you see words like, this must have happened, or people casually slipping into the passive voice or past tense, you can be pretty confident that it's story time. People only say something must have happened if they're really not sure that it happened, but
All right.
the half of the story that's true is that we have found some building blocks in meteorites. The other half of the story they don't disclose is that, much like the Miller-Urey experiment, these building blocks and letters are utterly unusable because they're mixed in with millions of other molecules that
That's the points that I like how they made it. And again, like I say, I'm trying to get some panelists on here to go through it and try to understand and see can they pick out why this video is such a winner. When you come to it, when they break down the understanding how they get away with basically lying to us and we are doing nothing about it. So I'm gonna cut it short today. I appreciate you coming in. Like it, subscribe, let me know what you want to hear. I'm gonna go further into it, but I just want to give a quick look at this and to get it started. And we will go from there then. Thank you.